regenerative plan. يعني أكيد شايفينكم بالدرس الفارماكوجنوسي that we have opium, we have this plant, papaver somiferum, we have crude drug, which means we have extract of morphine and its analog, and then we see that in this extract we have approximately 12% of analgesic morphine. With the morphine, at the same time we have codeine, noscapine, and papaver. They are naturally occurring compounds. هذول المواد موجودين بالطبيعة. But what's our job as pharmacists? يعني شغلنا as pharmacists. أول شيء we must study their structure-activity relationship that we have, the relationship between different structures, different modifications, and different activities. And then we look for modification. And we want to improve compounds that we have. If you remember, we say we have development and we have optimization. It means right now we know that morphine is a good drug, but at the same time we have some drawbacks. And now we're trying with morphine. So, in one hand, we are wanting to use the positive points of morphine, and at the same time we want to get rid of the problems which are associated with the morphine, which is tolerance and dependency. And we talked about opioid receptors. We say that we have opioid receptor inside our body. So pharmacology, يعني هذا مشروع مع pharmacology. We have opioid receptor, يعني جسمنا جاهز حتى يأخذ هذا الopioid. And we say that we have this opioid receptor even in GID. That's why those people who use morphine or codeine or etc. they get constipation. So theoretically we can use morphine as antidiarrheal agent, but we don't use morphine as antidiarrheal agent because at the same time that we can get this positive point, we can have many negative points or side effects associated with the morphine. That's why right now, today in our pharmacies, we have a compound, for example, loperamide or diphenhydramine, which acts on opioid receptor, but cannot enter into the CNS. Okay. We have two basic compounds, two basic backbones. And in the opioid, we have two basic backbones, two basic types of structure which are recognized among opioid alkaloid or opium alkaloid. يعني اللي نحن اليوم هسه نحكي عليها they are naturally occurring components المواد اللي موجودين داخل الطبيعة. So first of all, we must study this compound and then we must try to modify this compound. Two types of basic structure. We have phenanthrene. Phenanthrene, as an example, we have morphine type and benzyl isoquinoline, for example. As example, we have papaverine compound. So we have phenanthrene and benzyl isoquinoline. They are backbone of different compounds that we have. اللي نحن يعني اليوم احنا نحكي عليها فينانثرين، جماعة الفينانثرين كمورفين واحد من الفينانثرينز. يعني هذا structure أساسي backbone, and then we have modification of this backbone, and then we get morphine. Pharmacological actions of phenanthrene. Phenanthrene, we say it's a chemical name, and morphine is an example of phenanthrene which belongs to opioid family. Some pharmacological actions of phenanthrene. One, increased tolerance to pain. Toleration to pain. يعني نحن نقدر نتحمل more pain if we use morphine or if we use phenanthrene group of compounds. So we have increased tolerance to pain, which is positive point, which means it's a pain killer. Second one, sleepy feeling, which causes sleepy feeling. على مود هذا we call it مخدر because it gives us sleepy feeling. But we use this word مخدر, which is false for methamphetamine, for example, or crack, which is a false name. لا So we use مخدر as a name for this compound because we get sleepy feeling. We have lower perception of external stimuli. It's in the case that we use opioid analgesic. Lower perception of external stimuli. يعني واحد ما يقدر يسوق سيارة بعد زين. Because reaction to external stimuli would be lower. And the fourth one, which is the main cause of addiction, we get euphoria, which is the sense of power, sense of complete well-being. يعني الشعف euphoria we get it from using morphine. طبعا بالبداية يكون شيء بعدين we don't get euphoria but by normal doses, so we must increase the dose. That's why we say we can get addicted to morphine, and then we must change the compound because morphine is naturally acting compound, and those people who are addicted to morphine normally change their drug. So phenanthrene principally acts on the CNS as depressant and stimulant. يعني أكو أشياء which causes depression and أكو أشياء which causes stimulant. For example, sleepy feeling is so depressant effect, for example, in case of sleepy feeling. In case of sleepy feeling, we have depressant effect. Or number 3, lower perception of external stimuli is as well depressant effect. While in case of euphoria or feeling of well-being, we have stimulation effect. هذا pharmacology يعني المورفين وجماعة الفينانثرين كانوا هذا البارتنر يشتغلون على السي ان اس بس اكو شغلات تسوي ستيميليشن مثل اليوفوريا واكو شغلات سليب. We say we have excitatory neurotransmitter and inhibitory neurotransmitter. These actions are related to opioid. First of all, euphoria, relaxation and well-being, pain relief, impaired concentration, concentration include مخابرة, sleepy feeling, reduced sex drive, sweating, constipation. We say we have constipation. We say we have constipation because we have opioid receptor inside GIP, and that's why we say we have loperamide nowadays and we have xylitol nowadays inside our pharmacies. And these compounds that we discussed today, for example, loperamide and xylitol, they are OTC. يعني واحد يقدر ياخذها بدون وصفة. I think it's a false strategy because it's right that loperamide does not enter the CNS, but with a small chemical modification, you can make it more lipophilic, which can get ability to enter into the CNS. So constipation have a side effect. We know it because we have opioid receptors inside GIP, sweating, and these are examples of compound: buprenorphine, codeine, fentanyl, heroin, methadone, naltrexone, opioid, oxycodone. They are naturally acting plus modified opioid analgesic. Modified يعني احنا لعبنا بالstructure. We modify the structure in order to get better compound. يعني إذا واحد يسألك why do you modify a chemical compound or chemical entity inside the chemistry? What's our answer? We talked about it in the first semester. To get better compound. What does better compound mean? يعني we have ADME, absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. We are looking for better compound in relation to ADME, which is absorption, distribution, metabolism, and excretion. We look for مواد الأبخص طبعا because we have another field which we call it pharmacoeconomy. مواد الأبخص side effect أقل, controllable, more specific. يعني هذول الأشياء we could say inside your answer. Why would we modify the drug? So for example, codeine is a natural compound, but today inside lab we can produce codeine chemical. Or heroin is not naturally acting compound. Heroin is modified morphine. Side effect, respiratory depression. أول شيء. That's why we can use جماعة المورفين as antitussive. Antitussive يعني شنو؟ مو والله antitussive. Cough depressant. ضد السعال. We can use جماعة الأوبيويد as ضد السعال or antitussive or cough suppressant. تمام؟ But it's in low dose. So in low dose we can use it as indication cough suppressant or antitussive. It is low dose. If we increase the dose, we can get a state which we call it respiratory depression, which can cause death. After we discussed that point that most of cancer patients are not dying because of cancer or side effects of anti-cancer drug. They die because side effect of morphine and heroin, which is used as painkiller. يعني يوصل مرحلة you must just increase dose of morphine which you administer for this patient, and from this respiratory depression اكو اشخاص يموتون. يعني واحد عنده كانسر ما يموت بسبب الكانسر بالنهايه مو بسبب جماعه الانتي كانسر بلكي بسبب جماعه الاوبيويد because they can cause respiratory depression. We say it is a side effect, an adverse effect if it's intense. إذا كلش يعني عميق يكون cause death. بينما if you have superficial respiratory depression, we can use it as antitussive or zolpidem. Tendency to cause addiction or dependability. يعني بالنهاية يقول أنا ما أقدر أعيش without it. بدون الهاي المادة ما أقدر أعيش. So we call it addiction. Convulsion, constipation, and allergic reaction. These are side effects of جماعة morphine. Use of morphine. Why do we use morphine? Mainly because of its pain-killing activity. بس أكو أشياء الآخر we can use it as single drug or as combination. It controls pain caused by serious injury, neoplasm, or cancer, migraine, pleurisy, binary and melancholic, and numerous other conditions. So what الشغل مال morphine هو pain killing or analgesic activity. طبعا ما اعرف عندكم معلومات لجماعه الجنرال انستيزيا ولا جماعه الجنرال انستيزيا. جنرال انستيزيا يعني general anesthesia we have 2 points. First of all, losing consciousness يعني الوعي لازم يروح. بينما اكو مرات الوعي يروح but sensibility to pain يبقى. فجماعه الانالجيسيك هم يستخدموا جماعه الاوبيويد لانه general anesthesia is mainly to lose consciousness just. بينما we have at the same time operation, we have at the same time injury inside a body. So you must have another painkiller in order to be able to tolerate the pain. It's often administered as pre-operative sedative together with atropine to control secretion. يعني أكو مرات we use atropine with morphine. Atropine to control secretion because we know atropine is anticholinergic drug. Anticholinergic drug can decrease secretion. So it's normal when we use it with atropine. أكو state خاص we call it twilight sleep. Twilight sleep يعني بين السليب وبين الوعي شوية. For example, when a mother gives birth to a child, we need this state, twilight sleep. With the scopolamine plus morphine, we can induce twilight sleep. This effect is used in obstetrics, but care is needed to prevent respiratory depression. It means we can combine morphine with the scopolamine in order to induce twilight sleep. يعني state خاص، يعني مو loss of consciousness كامل ومو وعي كامل، تمام؟ بينما we need loss of consciousness a little bit plus ability to tolerate pain. But we have a point here which is respiratory depression. That's why it says the care is needed. يعني مراقبة يحتاج because we have this side effect of respiratory depression. We have structure of morphine, and if we have structure for morphine, so it means we have structure-activity relationship, so it means we can modify the structure. First of all, we say we have phenanthrene-like compound. In this slide, we say we have phenanthrene and benzyl isoquinoline. So morphine belongs to phenanthrene, جماعة الphenanthrene. This is structure of morphine. هذا أرقام الكربونات اللي عندنا. 1 2 3 4 5 أرقام الكربونات اللي عندنا. So first of all, structure activity relationship of morphine بالبساطة شوية. It has been found that the features possessed by all non-morphine-like analgesic as follows. First of all, tertiary nitrogen. يعني النيتروجين اللي عندنا it's not in quaternary state. It is tertiary. يعني it doesn't have any positive charge. So we have tertiary nitrogen. But with the group on the nitrogen, which is small. So we need tertiary nitrogen plus a small group for maximum activity, or best activity. We are going to find it. So we have tertiary nitrogen plus a small group. We have one exception. Well, we have one exception. The exception is normorphine. From this name, normorphine, you know we had noradrenaline, for example. We had a difference between adrenaline and noradrenaline, which was a point. The point was what? Methyl group, right? Noradrenaline versus adrenaline. So in this case, we have again normorphine, which possesses analgesic activity approximating that of morphine. When we compare morphine to normorphine, in case of morphine, we have a small methyl group, small group posting one carbon, which is optimal for activity. Normally on the nitrogen, we have methyl group. But normorphine doesn't have that methyl. يعني ما عنده هذا الميثايل. نفس الشيء بس ما عنده ميثايل. وهذا يشتغل, which is exception. In the structure activity relationship, it says we want tertiary nitrogen plus small group, and it says in this part, okay, we have an exception, which is normorphine. It doesn't have this methyl group, but it has activity. Come on, and هذا is the same. A central carbon atom of which none of the balances is connected with that hydrogen. يعني atom carbon مركزي, which says this central carbon, none of which is connected to a hydrogen. يا هو يكون هذا الكربون مالتنا. يا رقم. إن الكربون يعني مرتبطة بالأشياء ما عدا hydrogen. I think it's this one, right? Carbon number 13. Right? Carbon number 13. So we have a central carbon, هذا خصيصة هذا structure, which one of the none of the valence, يعني ماكو أي valence attached to the hydrogen. So we don't have hydrogen. ورا هذا الموضوع يقول a phenyl group or a group isosteric with a phenyl is connected to this central carbon atom. يعني النقطة الثالثة يقول we found the central carbon atom, and right now we say a phenyl group or a compound similar to the phenyl must be connected with this central carbon. And between this central carbon and the nitrogen that we have, the two carbon chain separate the central carbon away from nitrogen for maximum activity. يعني إذا رقم 13 يكون هذا central carbon، يقول بين هذا central carbon وبين النيتروجين we must have two atoms. So we have one and we have two from this side, and from this side we have one and we have two. So it's right. Tamam? يعني structure activity relationship. Again, we say we need nitrogen, not charged in tertiary state, not quaternary. Attached to the nitrogen, we have CH3, which is a small alkyl group, and then we say we have an exception, which was normorphine, and then we say we need the central carbon. This central carbon atom is not connected to any hydrogen, as we say here, and رقم ثالث ورابع is related to the central carbon. We say we have phenyl or a compound which is isostate must be connected to this central carbon, and at the same time we say for maximum activity between atom platinum and must be 2 atoms, and in both sides we have 2 atoms. Other term structural morphine. We have structure of codeine. If we go back to another slide, we say we have codeine inside this extract. We have codeine inside naturally occurring papaver somniferum. But today, because we use morphine in our pharmacies and we need it a lot, يعني يكون كلش معقول كنحن نصنع المورفين داخل مختبر. تمام؟ يعني it's possible to make codeine and morphine right now. First of all, let's take a look into the structure of codeine. Codeine is a phenolic methyl ether of morphine. Phenolic methyl ether. هذا الميثايل ether هذا الميثايل ether يكون هذا البارت اللي نحن عندنا here OCH3 compared to structure of morphine. We have structure of morphine here. We have here OH, but right now in case of codeine we have OCH3. We have OCH3. We have phenolic methyl ether. We have as well ethyl ether. So right now in case of codeine we have methyl ether. We have some compounds which we call ethyl ether of morphine. They are used as analgesic. So it's phenolic methyl ether. يعني الفرق الوحيد بين morphine وكودين هذا البارت. In case of morphine we have OH. In case of codeine we have OCH3. It has survived as a good analgesic and cough depressant or antidepressant, together with the corresponding ethyl ether which is found principal application in ophthalmology. يعني the ones of the handle group CH3 يكون معنا كلش محترمة. We can have it inside our pharmacy. It's not forbidden like morphine لأنه هذا مادة مختلفة. But you as pharmacists right now, you know that the difference between codeine and morphine is just one ethyl group. Codeine has one extra. In case of morphine we have OH. In case of morphine we have OH. In case of codeine we have OCH3. And we say we have ethyl ether as well. We have methyl ether and we have ethyl ether which is another compound. شو شغلات الكودين داخل الصيدليات؟ كان عندنا باراستامول بلس كودين، باراستامول بلس كودين. هم كان عندنا باراستامول بلس كافيين if you remember or if you have seen it. Paracetamol caffeine, paracetamol codeine, and we say codeine as painkiller. In case of antitussive syrups, أكو شربات ضد السعال we have codeine. Why? Because codeine has anti-cough effect. Codeine is alkaloid which occurs naturally in opium. يعني بحالة الطبيعي عندنا inside opium فالpercentage مال codeine. بس اليوم نحن نقدر نصنع الكودين بداخل المختبرات وهسه بالاندستري we can have it because of its commercial importance. يعني تجاريا يكون كلش مهم. Most commercial codeine is prepared from morphine by methylating the phenolic hydroxyl group. يعني precursor مال تصنيع الكودين هو مورفين. يعني المادة الأولية لتصنيع الكودين نحن نستخدم morphine and methylating. It does not possess the same analgesic potency of morphine. يعني مو كلش قريب مثل morphine. بواسطة another group. And side effect is respiratory depression, constipation, and nausea. They are familiar for us, but we don't talk about addiction كل شوية لأنه addiction قابلية الادكشن مع الكودين مو مثل المورفين كلش أبسط هم بالنسبة للبين كيلينج اكتيفيتي مو كلش قريب مثل المورفين بس still it's dangerous you must be careful إذا واحد يقول أنا أريد نقطع منه ما تقدر تبيعها لأنه مشكلة. So for us in medicinal chemistry the most important point is the difference between structures and the precursor يعني المادة الأول اللي تصنيع الكودين هو morphine and you must know that it's right that we have naturally occurring compound يعني نحن نعرف هذا المادة الموجود في الطبيعة بينما اليوم لأنه كل شيء لأنه الطبيعة كل شيء اليوم نقدر نصنعها بداخل المختبرات وبالتالي حتى نبيعها وبالتالي موجود استخدامها. Codeine is useful in relieving terminal cancer pain. Analgesic activity for cancer can use it because it is safe and say that it has less addictive property than morphine. We have another compound. We have heroin. So we say we have morphine, which is naturally active compound. We say we have codeine, which is naturally active compound, but today, nowadays, we can't produce it inside our labs. But this heroin is not naturally active compound. يعني هذا مو مادة طبيعية. هذا مادة manipulated. الستراكشر اللي عندنا هسه اليوم ستراكشر الباك بون مال الاوبيويد فينانفرين. يعني الباك بون كان عندنا اوريدي بينما المادة يعني artificial compound. We made it. It's human made. Heroin is also known as diacetylmorphine. يعني هذا الاسم لازم تحفظوه عن شلون؟ تحفظوه اسمائكم. diacetylmorphine. Di يعني two. acetyl يعني two acetyl group. يعني عندنا اليوم morphine عندنا extra two acetyl group فيكون diacetylmorphine يكون heroin. And diamorphine, among other names, is morphine and cocaine. Asma, diacetylmorphine, diamorphine, and morphine. If we take a look into the structure of heroin, we have central carbon, we have phenanthrene backbone, we have tertiary amine group, and we have small alkyl group, which is CH3. We say in case of morphine we have it, in case of non-morphine we don't have it, in case of codeine we have it. And in case of heroin, if we compare the structure of heroin with the structure of morphine, the point of difference is these two and these two. Okay? Because we have two groups of acetyl. We have here codeine OCH3. OH, OH. In case of morphine, we have OH, OH. But in case of heroin, we have OCH3, OCH3. So we have two groups of acetyl. شنو شغلة الأسيتال group? Simply, it increases lipophilicity. It increases lipophilicity. And why this lipophilicity is very important for us? Because we know that the main point of activity of heroin and morphine and codeine is lysemia.
لا تدافع عليه. ايه خليه ينزل عادي. هو جدول حتى الخرب بتحاسب طلاب شنو؟
عليكم السلام.
المحافظة على النظام المسلم. So we say we have morphine which has a point of difference with the heroin, which is group incentive. E vuoi suovi? Diamorphine or heroin or diacetyl morphine, same name. يعني دير بالكم بداخل الامتحان when I bring diamorphine or morphinane or diacetyl morphine or heroin كلهم نفس المادة. تمام؟ Be careful please. Inside the exam, if we have diamorphine or diacetyl morphine or morphinane كلهم اسم واحد. كلهم اسم واحد. So diamorphine is produced from acetylation of morphine. يعني لحد الآن we know that morphine is precursor للproduction of codeine وهمنا precursor for production of heroin. يعني morphine هو دواء نستخدمها مادة تبديلية نعرفها بس precursor we say in case of codeine we can use it as precursor. In case of heroin as well, we can use it. So simply these two groups of acetyl increase lipophilicity. And increasing lipophilicity, معناتها شنو? They can get easily into the CNS and they have their effect which is somehow stimulant effect and somehow inhibitory effect. هذا السلايد مع الفارماكولوجي مو مالتنا بس لازم يكون يمكن ببساطة نمشي عليها. We have different receptors for morphine. لازم يكون بالبالكم we have mu, delta and kappa receptors. Mu, delta and kappa or opioid 3, opioid 2 and opioid 1 receptor. Please go and read about it. It's pharmacology. It's not our job. Okay? But you must know that we have different subtypes of opioid receptors. When we say we have opioid receptor, we have different subtypes. Just like when we say we have different adrenergic receptor, different cholinergic receptor. So we have different subtypes of receptors for morphine وجماعة opioid. جماعة opioid. تمام? So you must know and read about mu, delta, and kappa receptor, or we have different designation opioid 3, opioid 2, and opioid 1. المادة الآخر اسمها apomorphine. Apomorphine همينها related to morphine, but we have another small difference. We take a look at the slide and we see what the difference between apomorphine and morphine. It says again as a precursor. As a precursor, we say we use precursor for codeine, we use morphine. As precursor for production of heroin, we use morphine. As precursor for production of apomorphine, again we use morphine. It says when morphine is heated at 140 degrees Celsius under pressure with a strong hydrochloric acid, it uses 1 molecule of water and it brings apomorphine to 100 degrees. And you have heat 140 degrees Celsius, you have pressure, and you have hydrochloric acid addition, the hydrochloric acid concentrated. By this step, it can lose 1 molecule of water, and from morphine you get apomorphine, which is a safe compound compared to morphine. تمام؟ يعني هسه نعرف شنو morphine. Again, you know what's codeine, what is heroin, what's apomorphine. So apomorphine is a compound against come from morphine. So it's safe emetics. Emetics يعني شنو? It causes vomiting. Emetics يعني it causes vomiting. استفراغ. It's currently classified as orphan drug for use in Parkinson's. سامعين orphan drug يعني شنو؟ orphan drug. orphan يعني شنو؟ كلورا إنجليزي. orphan. ها؟ يتيم بالضبط. هذا الاسم نستخدمها كل شوية أورفان دراج يعني مادة جديدة يعني نستخدمها بس ما كل شوية لازم عليها يعني we use it maybe for example in case of Parkinson where they are terminally ill يعني بالاستنجاد الأخير وهم كلش مو زينة يعني بنخلي نجرب هذا الدواء فأكو هذا الكلب هذا الموت نستخدمها كل شوية داخل مزرعة فارماسي أورفان دراج يعني مادة يدي معناتها مادة نقدر نستخدمها بس ماكو ستايل and not FDA approved بس نقدر نستخدمها. So we can use apomorphine as orphan drug for treatment of Parkinson. And you know what's Parkinson? We talked about Alzheimer's in first semester. In case of Parkinson, we have different definition for Parkinson, just like we have different definition for Alzheimer's. شنو characteristic مال Parkinson disease؟ لا أعرف اللي تشوفها تريمور يعني شلون تعرف واحد maybe عنده Parkinson؟ تريمور هسه عندنا سؤال آخر. In case of Parkinson, we have increase in movement or decrease in movement?
Decrease.
لا So in case of Parkinson, my question is generally, my grandpa is getting Parkinson, for example. We have decrease in movement or increase in movement? Decrease but unintentional. We have decrease in some movement. يعني الحركة يكون كلش بطيء يعني أكو مسافة عادي أنا أقدر أروح في دقيقة ويروح بالثلاث دقائق. بينما we have increase in some movement مثل الركشة. So we have decrease and increase, and that's why nowadays we say that dopamine is maybe not a neurotransmitter just, it's neuromodulator. So we say we can use apomorphine as safe remedies and maybe as treatment for Parkinson in future. Morphine modification. يعني why do we use morphine as precursor? Why do we want to modify morphine as drug? We have opioid analgesic agents. We have, for example, we have these compounds. We say we have fentanyl, heroin, methadone, alcohol, opioid, loperamide, diphenhydramine. We have modified structure of morphine. Here it says why modification? Why do we need to change the structure? First of all, it says to separate chemically the addictive property of morphine from other salutary attributes. يعني المورفين عنده positive point و negative point. أول شيء we want to separate positive point لأنه we like it, but at the same time we want to get rid of negative point, which is addiction, which is dependability, which is tolerance to this action. So هذا يكون optimal يعني يكون بالبالنا not necessarily we can succeed يعني هذا بس wish. We have a wish, we have amal that we can separate positive point from negative point because morphine is naturally active and we want to use its positive point for indication, but we want to get rid of negative point. To find other synthetic molecules without undesirable properties. Undesirable properties can be addiction, that means tolerance to their action. Why morphine is used as starting point or as precursor? And we say in case of codeine, we can use morphine as precursor. In case of apomorphine, we can use morphine as precursor. In case of apomorphine, codeine, and heroin, we can use morphine as precursor. Why? Because first of all, already available. يعني المادة موجودة، الجنريت موجودة بداخل الماركت. And the main point for its production is Afghanistan, you know. So it's available, readily available. Two, proven potency. يعني اليوم نحن نعرف هذا المادة بها فعالية مضبوطة. So proven potency. Ease of alteration يعني بالسهولة we can modify it. That's why even in Afghanistan أكو أشخاص كثير يعني يصنعون هيروين من مورفين. لو أشخاص يعني ما عندهم علم الكيمياء بس لأن الخطوات مو كلش صعبة يقدرون يعني they can separate morphine from rest of analgesic that we have it's like food drug. So we have this point, it's available, it has proven potency, and we have ease of alteration, which makes morphine a good starting compound. For our job. We have another compound, meperidine. Meperidine, when we take a look at the structure of meperidine, do we have similarity with them from meperidine when we compare it to morphine? In case of morphine, we say we have phenanthrene backbone. Phenanthrene backbone. But in case of meperidine, we see that it's another compound. Pethidine or meperidine. سامعين هذا الكلمة؟ pethidine. كل شوية بالمستشفيات المؤسسة. pethidine. Pethidine كalternative for morphine. Alternative for جماعة analgesic. مثل heroin we say we have diamorphine or diacetylmorphine. كلها اسم واحد للكلمة هذا واحد. We have pethidine or meperidine which is available inside some pharmacies and in hospitals. It's a synthetic opioid analgesic. يعني الصوص مالتها مو صوص الأوبيوم، مو بابا somnifera، مو مثل المورفين كان موجود بالطبيعة. المادة بيثيدين لو meperidine مو موجود بداخل الطبيعة. Synthesized in 1931 as a potential anticholinergic agent. يعني في البداية الفكرة كان نحن نصنع المادة كهو يكون anticholinergic. ومادة طبعا يكون anticholinergic يعني antagonist to cholinergic system. بينما طلع المادة agonist to opioid receptor. Agonist to opioid receptor. فالفكرة كان الأول كان anticholinergic agent. Pethidine is indicated for treatment of moderate to severe pain. يعني for example in case of renal colic, in case of renal stone, mainly nowadays we use pethidine as alternative for morphine. For much of 20th century, pethidine was the opioid of choice for many physicians. يعني أول opioid كان يستخدموها كان pethidine. بداخل 20th century. So meperidine or pethidine هذا example من جماعة analgesic من جماعة الأوبيويد كمان موجود بداخل الكبيرة مثل codeine كان موجود مو we say we have codeine inside our mixture but because it has commercial importance يعني نحن كل شوية codeine we can produce it nowadays. Meperidine we don't have it inside our mixture. أكو مادة آخر كلش قريب which is opioid receptor analog or opioid receptor agonist fentanyl. هم هذا المادة ما عندها قرابة من مورفين بس يشتغل على opioid receptor. If someone asks you about why it's effective on opioid receptor but it doesn't have any similarity with the morphine or جماعة الفينانيل, you can say maybe we have different binding factors. Fentanyl is a phenyl and the acyl group separated from ring by a nitrogen. So we have here one nitrogen and here we have one nitrogen. Phenyl group is separated from ring by a nitrogen. it is 50 times higher than morphine. شنو معنى هذا الجملة؟ 50 times
خمسين مرة
than
أقوى.
morphine. What does it mean? When we say fentanyl is 50 times higher than morphine, just like when we say beta endorphin is 20 to 50 times more effective than morphine. What does it mean? What was the answer? It means we can have or we can get the same effect by lower doses. يعني أقوى. يعني نبدأ نقلل الدوز بينما الإفكت تبقى نفس الشيء. So it's structural and this name tramadol hydrochloride أكيد صار من tramadol ما جماعة الأوبيويد بس هذا المادة مثل مادة التركية مثل فentanyl مشان مادة التركية مثل بكيني أو بكيني مشان مادة التركية بينما أخذنا كلين مشان مادة التركية
دورت على غير بروح اللي شو اسمه
وفي مشان مادة التركية هنا عندنا مو مادة التركية. The difference between this point is very very important. يعني تمام أكو واحد ما فهمش يعني هسه you must know this point which one is synthetic one or man-made and which one is natural one. We talked about methylene, phenethyl and tramadol. What's tramadol? Tramadol is as well man-made synthetic one. Is used as analgesic or painkillers. It posts opioid activity but it cannot be replaced by naloxone. سامعين هاي الكلمة naloxone؟ naloxone ها؟ antidote مال مورفين. naloxone antidote مال مورفين يعني إذا واحد يسوي
وشكل منكر هاي.
morphine or codeine, you can use naloxone as antidote. But it says when someone makes overdose with tramadol, you cannot use naloxone. You can just do symptomatic treatment. هذا موضوع التوكسيكولوجي بس ليش مهم بالنسبة لي؟
يعني ندخل بالفارماكولوجي.
medicinal chemistry لأنه it says it has even though a different binding packet. يعني هذا الريسبتور صح we have activation of opioid receptors but at the same time it may be at another binding packet. The principal effect is attributed to the mediated metabolite. يعني المادة هو مو كلش فعالة. المادة الفعالة يجي ورا الميتابوليزم خطوة واحدة. يعني عندنا tramadol بينما ورا الميتابوليزم we have all the mediated metabolite or the mediated metabolite. يعني هذا البيثايل جروب يروح تمام يكون OH بدل OCH3 and the active metabolite is 6 times more potent يعني 6 مرات أقوى من الترامادول تمام يعني صح الترامادول مضبوط في الميتابولايت مالته. It produces significantly lower like side effect. يعني سايد افكتات مالتها مو مثل المورفين كلش غبي يعني هذول الاشياء لازم تعرفهم هاي الترامادول. وعندنا هذا الماده اللوكيرامايد كموجود بالصيدليات هسه. اللوكيرامايد نحن نقدر نقول can act on opioid receptors but it does not enter into the CNS. Why? Because it is not lipophilic. It is hydrophilic. So loperamide or Imodium is a hybrid between methadone and methylene molecule. So it is anti-diarrheal agent or it is constipative agent. يعني هذا المادة يشتغل على receptors opium and it does not enter into the CNS because it is not lipophilic and we use it as anti-diarrheal agent. هذا المادة سعرها كلش رخيص و-OTC يعني بدون وصفة تقدر تاخذها بس هذا الشيء مو صح لأنه هسه العراق صار مكان الإرهاب مكان شو اسمه مكان تخريب اللوكيرامايد ودايفينوكسيلين كل إيران تمام يعني أكو اشخاص يشترون هذا الماده لوبيراميد دايفينوكسيديت كلش هوايه ارقام كبيره ويودوها للايران. بالايران اكو كيميكال موديفيكيشن حتى يصنعون منها هيروين ومخدرات وجماعته. فالكابريك اسيد is كلش so imodium is a hybrid molecule between methadone and methylene. هم methadone كلش خطر هم methylene خطر لانه في methylene increase methylene and methylene is alternating for morphine and methadone same thing. So loperamide is inside our pharmacy and OTC drug. لحد الان analgesic هذا سلايد ان شاء الله فيه شغله في قانون الريست ونبلش بالجماعه الانيمال تمام.